Hello beautiful people, in today's video is going to be the second installment of my Throwback Thursday. Today I'm going to be using the Anastasia, however you say it, Norvina palette. I decided I was craving like a bronzy smoky look and I hadn't used this palette in a while and the shades in here were calling to me. So I decided to whip it out and I thought it would be a great idea to use this as this week's Throwback Thursday. So if you guys want to see how I got this look here, then let's get started. Okay, so I'm starting off with the shade Intense, and I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. I'm actually using the Anastasia brush that came maybe with the palette or another palette, but I like how fluffy it is on the other end, so I'm taking that, tapping it off, and I'm dusting it on the outermost part of my crease, just to give a slightly blown out effect. I found I've been really enjoying this technique lately instead of just taking it directly like right into the crease here. I feel like I'm going for more of a softer look these days. At least I'm trying to. I'm not really sure if I'm pulling it off or not. So I'm just taking that and working it out. And because I have small eyes, it doesn't take very big of a brush to like go out of control. Alright, so I'm taking a smaller brush here. This is my MAC, the synthetic version of the 2-1, I never remember the name, 217. I'm going into the shade Incense, and I'm taking that just more into the crease just to give it a little bit more definition in here. At least that's what I tried to do, but it didn't really turn out that good. So then I'm going to go into the shade Eccentric, which is this nice kind of terracotta mustard color. Burnt orange, not burnt orange, but it's like a dirty brown with a bit of orange. It's an interesting shade. I like it. So I'm just taking that in the crease here, and then I'm going to go and take a little bit of Volatile. That's a nice gray taupe shade. And I'm going to go in to the outermost inner corner here, right in here, with that shade, just work it in there just to give some definition and bring it just slightly into the crease area and just blending it with everything else. Okay, I think that's fine for now. I'm just going to brush up my brows here. And I'm going to take the shade, I'm going to try to take Dreamer. Oh, and for reference, after I set my, the shadow I used to set my primer is the shade Base. I went in with that first. I just didn't do it on camera because I wasn't sure what I was doing. Now I'm going to go into the shade Dreamer just lightly. This might ruin the look completely. I'm not even sure if that's going to be too, I think it's going to be too dark. Alright, I guess I can take the shade Base. We'll see if that makes a difference on the brow bone, and not really. I needed something a little lighter. So I'm going to go into my old Naked Basics palette, and I'm taking the shade Venus. I'm trying to get a little more use out of these before I toss them in the trash. They've been on my makeup to use, which isn't going so well, so I decided to put them on my desk and actually try to use them. So this is me doing that. I'm going to go back with that fluffy brush with nothing on it and just blend that out. Alright, for the shade Summer that I'm going to use, this beautiful cool tone bronze. So that's the shade there, and that's the shade in the palette. Now I always need a little bit of help with my shimmers because my eyelids are difficult. So I'm taking a dab of the Too Faced Glitter Glue, and I'm just tapping that on the inner part here and taking it about halfway to the lid. And then I'm gonna take my finger, so I'm gonna take my ring finger and just pat that on, wiping my finger off before I go into the palette again because I don't want it to get hard pan. Then I'm going to take my, where'd the brush go? As usual, not organized. I don't know what number this is from MAC, but it's just that flat brush. I'm going to go back into the shadow, and I'm just going to blend out the edges with that and blend it up into the crease to meet with the other shades. And I'm going to go back in with the shade, let's try a combination of Intense and Eccentric. Incense. Keep saying intense. See what that does. But this isn't a look with a lot of dimension today. I just wanted something lighter and not as like crazy dramatic. I'm gonna take the shade Volatile, and I'm just trying to add a little bit of depth to that inner corner. And just mix a bit of Eccentric with it, and I don't know if I like how it's turning out. Not really giving me much, but that's okay. It's fine. Just gonna clean up the outer corner here. Okay, so I think that's it for the lid. It's a pretty easy, straightforward look. What I'm gonna do next is I'm going to finish this eye. I might do a little bit of eyeliner on the outer corner. And then I'm going to finish the rest of the face, and I'll come back and show you the completed look. Alright, so I finished this eye, the lower lash line. I will start with what I used on my face. I used a combination of my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place, mixed it with a little bit of the Dior Backstage in the shade 1W, and I also added a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter on the high points of my cheeks and on my forehead, just to make things a little more luminous. This is quite matte, and I didn't want to be matte, but I still wanted the staying power of it, so that's why I mixed all those together. For blush, I used a combination of the Fenty Cream blush in the shade Rose Latte, and I mixed it with a little bit of the Natasha Denona Bloom in that one there. I love that combination lately. Beautiful. And then for bronzer, I used the Bahama Mama. And yeah, so for highlight, I used this old MAC highlighting powder in the shade Honey Rose. So for the lower lash line, I am not gonna add a base. I'm trying to put less layers on lately because I feel like my eyes for some reason are not handling a lot of layers nicely. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Incense, and I'm just gonna take that on the outer corner. I didn't set my under eye after I applied my concealer, so that is going to help with getting these shadows to stay without the extra layer of product that I usually always put on. So this is new for me. I'm also not really going anywhere today, and it's halfway through the day, so I'm not really worried about like staying longevity all day long. And then I'm going to take my pencil brush here, and I'm going to mix the shade Summer and Dreamer. I'm going to mix those, just going to go back and forth with them. And I'm going to put that on the inner, I don't want to flies in my eye. Put that on the inner corner here and blend it into Incense. Then with a smaller brush, this little tiny one here, I'm just going to go into Dreamer, and I'm just going to concentrate that on the inner part here. Slightly blending it down. And then for the inner corner, there is nothing light enough that I prefer, so I'm going to go in with my MAC Pigment in Gold Dusk. This thing is getting a lot of love, and I've had it for so long, and it's like not even done yet. Just going to wet my brush here, and then apply it to the inner corner. Now, when I got off camera to do the rest of my face, I did add one little step that I forgot to show you guys. Usually I forget this step, but I usually do it with the Fenty Beauty Hustler Baby highlight. So today I just took that same brush here, and I used the shade Base, and I took that on the inner corners here just to blend all the shadows together. I found that it has a nice sheen to it. It's not completely matte, so I thought it would work beautifully for that. And usually I don't put a dark color in my lower lash line because I do have small eyes and it does close it off. But today I just feel like I wanted some smoky, bronzy drama. So I'm taking this Annabelle pencil in the shade Brownie. Any brown pencil that you have will do. And I'm just going to take this gently into my lower lash line. And smudging it just a tiny bit into the lashes. I'm not taking it all the way in because I don't want to close off my eyes that much. I just want to add a little bit of like smoky drama. It also helps complete the look. It was looking a little like it needed something else. I also took that same eyeliner and I applied just a little bit of eyeliner on the outer edges here just to give a bit of definition, but not to take away from the lid space. Okay, so that is it for the rest of the eyes. What I'm going to do now is put on mascara, and I will find a lip and I will come back and show you the completed look. Okay, so here is the final look. You're a little close right now, but I will zoom in on the eyes so you can see. Wrong way again. So this is the eyes, how they turned out. This eye looks better than this eye. I don't know why. You guys ever have that where one eye turns out better than the other? This eye is always the good eye, it seems, and that side always is the bad eye. Anyways, I will zoom you out so you can see the whole completed look. What did I use for my lips? I used a combination of Buxom White Russian. That was not really doing it for me, so I added a little bit of my MAC Please Me over top of it. I'm still not in love with it, but I mean, it's fine for what it is. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this second episode of Throwback Thursday, where I use what am I trying to say? Where I use an older palette and try and use all of the older palette. I think I did a great job today using basically, look how dirty that is. Blech. I think I did a good job of using only eyeshadows from this palette minus the inner corner highlight and the brow bone highlight, but I feel like that's just like, you know, that's okay to stray from the palette. Not every palette is going to be perfect. But yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look, and you will see me in my next video. Bye!